There are three things that seed sellers need to be doing right now in this so-called delayed spring. Springtime should be the most exciting time of the year for growers and seed sellers. Here we are, the second week of May, and it should be a very exciting time, but unfortunately, too many seed sellers and farmers are really nervous right now. They want to get the crop in a time when they think it should be in by now. They believe that it's not in by the 1st of May, it's too late. That's not true at all. And what seed sellers really need to realize is that the biggest risk they have right now is their product performance. They're not risking their product during the season with a hailstorm or drought or anything else as nearly as much as they are this time of year when the crop is not planted properly. So what's happening is farmers are starting to mud this stuff in, drive around potholes, trying to get the crop in, and still have 3 weeks of planting time available to them. This is the time of year when the biggest thing a seed seller has at stake is his product performance. By a farmer not following the top 5 factors, he will determine whether or not your product will perform to its potential this year and how well you'll do in his field and how happy he'll be in the harvest at harvest time. So here's what seed sellers need to be doing right now. Number one, if you have guys planting, you got to be at their planter. You've got to help them get that crop planted. If he insists on planting, then help him get it planted the best you can with the conditions he's in. Visit his planter, make sure you slow him down, make sure that depth is where you need to have it, make sure there's no sidewall compaction, things are going to really jeopardize his crop. Do the best job you can if he insists on planting. Number two, ask him to stop planting if it's too wet. If the conditions aren't right, ask him to find a different field or simply stop planting for a couple of days and wait. It may rain if he stops. But we've got 3 weeks of time left before he needs to even think about changing maturities on his varieties. We got plenty of time yet. It's not time to panic at all. And number three, all those farmers who are not planting, make sure you stay in front of them, communication-wise, and reassure them they're doing the right thing. And keep reminding them of the top 5 factors, and the number one factor, most of all, is soil conditions at planting time. One thing seed sellers need to do is stop listening to the media. The media and universities talk about delayed planting seasons all the time. And it totally confuses every farmer and gets him in a panic mode. What they're talking about is old history, things that are no longer relevant in this business. When they talk about losing a 1/4 bushel a day, in Minnesota, for example, for every day after the crop is planted after May 5th. Well, they talk about losing a 1/2 bushel a day after May 15th, and so on. None of that is relevant. We have had our highest yields, including last year, across the 18 states in the U.S., the highest record yields when it's planted record late. We've also had low yields when it's planted ultra early. It's all about, are the soil conditions correct at time of planting? Are the conditions right? It's not about data planting at all. So what I want them to think about is what is relevant to raising the best crop they can ever raise in the most bushels. So seed sellers need to stop listening to the media, talk to their growers about the best soil conditions possible, and after 3 weeks from now, they can start talking about changing maturities or changing to a different crop. But not until then. Stay the course and make sure the plan is in place, field by variety, and you'll raise the best crop you've ever had, because it is the summer and the fall that dictates the crop, not the time you plant it in the spring. Don't ever forget that.